Hey guys, Lauren here with Bizrok. In this week's video, I want to talk to you about something that oftentimes it gets overlooked or we avoid having the conversation. But when it comes to providing our patients with an exceptional experience, it's extremely, extremely important. And that is clutter. I always say if it looks like clutter, it's probably clutter. Now, when it comes to clutter in the office, of course we want to avoid it, but maybe it's time for you to take a quick tour of your office. I love this exercise. I'll have the front office team go to the back and take notes and go into every single operatory and sit as if they are the patient and just look around, look into the lights, look into all the cabinets, look at the 12 o'clock and see what you see as a patient. Now, clinical team, not to put you guys in the hot seat too, but I like for the clinical team to go to the front office area too. Go into if you have a consult room, look in the consult room, go to check-in, go to check-out, and just sit where your fellow team members sit and see what you see. Go as if you're a patient checking in or checking out and just stand there and see what you notice and see what stands out. Guys, I am really guilty of lots of Post-it notes, okay? I love Post-it notes as much as the next person. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Your patients don't like Post-it notes. It looks really messy and unorganized to walk in or be at check-in and see like this array of rainbow colorful Post-it notes everywhere. You want to make sure that you have a clutter-free, clean and organized and neat looking office space. Here's the other thing. It's not just about your patients, guys. It's for you too. There's study out there about the impact of clutter on your mental capacity and your ability to think creatively and to not feel stressed. Guys, we have enough going on in the world. We have enough going on with our patients and checking in and checking out and insurance and flipping rooms and sterilization and all this stuff, right? Why add a little bit more stress to our plate? Have a clutter-free environment. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to hit pause and I want you to go and take a field trip in your office. And again, if you're on the front team or if you're in the back team, I want you to switch spots for a minute. I want you to go and see what your patients see. Go experience what they experience. For my larger practices, maybe you have a patient-only restroom and then you got the team restroom. Go to your patient restroom. Go and see what they might see in the restroom. You'd be surprised. And just take a look around. Is there dust in the office? Are there picture frames that have cakes of dust because they've been there for years and nobody's moved them? See what your patients might see. Experience life as a patient in your practice. And I love for practices to do this at least once a quarter. Now for my overachievers out there, I'm going to ask you guys to do it once a month. At the end of a month, before you start a brand new month, take a quick tour of your office. Just go and sit, play musical chairs in the office for the day. It's kind of fun. And your patients will notice what just a beautiful and clean environment that you have. Here's the other thing when it comes to clutter. Guys, I've been in so many offices over the years, some updated, some not. Here's what I'll tell you. If you have a clean, organized workspace, it doesn't matter if you're renovated or not. They can see past an old, outdated office as long as it looks and feels clean. Now, the reason I harp on clutter, now, for some of you who are OCD like me, you might be like, Lauren, thank you. I've been asking my doc, we've got to organize this space for so long. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation. But the other reason I harp on clutter, guys, is because it's perception. When your patients see clutter, they start to wonder what else might not be organized or what else might not be clean in the office. And so I know you guys all have wonderfully safe and clean and sterile environments, but you don't want your patients to ever question that. And so you want to make sure that you have a clutter-free environment. You want to make sure that what your patients can see and feel and hear is clean and organized and feels safe. So like I said, hit pause at the end of this video and go and take a field trip. Get your whole team involved. Go and look at the different spaces throughout the office. Go take a patient tour. When's the last time you took a tour of your own office? And then my favorite, because a lot of offices have a separate interest for team members, one of my favorite things that you can ever do is walk through the front door as if you're a patient. See what your patient sees out in the welcome area. Are there stacks and stacks of unorganized or outdated magazines and books? Is there a table with brochures and other people's business cards? And guys, I'm not saying don't advertising your practice on different things. But if you've got a slew of 10 different brochures and business cards, I would beg to ask you, which of those is most important? Really none of them, because your patients don't know what's most important too. To them, it looks like clutter. It's too many options. And so if you have, maybe a table in the welcome area, or maybe at the check-in desk, that's where you like to display lots of different brochures, just pick one. Pick one thing and highlight it and focus on it, and rotate that on a monthly basis. I'm telling you, it'll feel less chaotic and less cluttered, and it will look clean and organized, and it'll make your patients actually notice it a little bit more versus if it's just lined up with a stack of other brochures. So homework for today, I want you to go and take a field trip to different parts of your practice. I want you to walk in just like your patients would through the front door and just see what you see what your patients might experience, and work really hard to become a clutter-free environment. Last thing that I'm going to wrap up with is, guys, if you have, maybe it is an unorganized office, or if you're like, gosh, we've got stuff everywhere, where do we start? Just pick one space. Pick one space at a time. Don't feel like you need to go and tackle the whole office. Just pick one area. Just take one area and get that organized, and remove the clutter off the walls or off the front desk, whether it's check-in or check-out, and just pick that one space, and then go on to the second space and the third space and the fourth space, and just keep going until every little nook and cranny that your patients can see is nice and clean and organized, and you feel that sense of stress being released from your plate because it's a nice, organized office. As always, guys, if you need help, please reach out to our team. We'd love the opportunity to help you and serve you. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you and serving you soon.